Well, I suppose I better speak to everybody now. People are coming in. Good morning, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. Thought I'd do another one in the morning lives. I'm going to subject you to my new intro for the breakfast streams because I'm terrible like that. I like to give you a little bit of entertainment. Here we go. Here's my intro for this morning.
When the sun comes up, a brand new start. Find your way, heal your heart. Mornings can be bright with UK Medic by your side. Feel the peace, enjoy the ride. UK Medic, best way to start your day. Chase those morning blues away. Wake up with a smile, stay happy for a while. Feel the light on your face, let joy take its place. Simple pleasure, simple grace. Coffee and a tune, let's dance to the moon. In the morning, calm, hold my palm. UK Medic, best way to start your day. Chase those morning blues away. Wake up with a smile, stay happy for a while. Feel the light on your face, let joy take its place.
So I hope that's got everybody in the right frame of mind this morning. Cheered you all up. Still madness here in the UK with rioting and everything else. I don't think targeting the police is the answer to solving this problem. But, yeah, something's got to be done, that's for sure. But the main thing is of the poor kids that were lost. You know, I don't want to start the morning off with too much misery, so I won't touch on it too much. I did put another video together of what's been going on, but maybe that's best for later rather than first thing in the morning as you're all waking up with your coffee. So morning Pickle, morning Batman, morning A-Frame, morning Gator, and a few others. Oh, Paul. I did see some. What riots? I haven't heard. Oh, rioting in Southport over 3 young kids that were stabbed to death. A guy went in. It was a Taylor Swift thing, I think. I can't remember. Holiday dance school, and a guy went in and stabbed 9 people, of which 3 have died. All children, aged between the ages of 6 and 9. So, hi, Bronze Flat Power God. Hi, Osborne. Good to see you, buddy. So, yeah, there's been riots. The riots really, morning, Dennis. The riots really started over the fact there was a vigil and people laying flowers where the children have been killed. And then somebody of a certain ethnic origin was seen to be walking down the road with a knife in his hand. And then was arrested, and on that basis it all kicked off. So yeah, it's been a bit of a sad week. Morning, Susanna, good to see you. It's been a bit of a sad week, what with the airport nonsense, and yeah, it's got out of hand, and I can think it's only going to get worse. So, but it's like, hopefully we wake up this morning, well, it's afternoon for me now, bright and sunny. It's 25 degrees here again, humid as hell, as it always is, but probably not as hot as where Nitro is. I know his place is like a sauna. I would be tearing my hair out if I had to put up with that. Mind you, I can tell why Nitro shaved his head with the weather like that. Well, There was an incident in Southend as well last night. Apparently 2 guys with machetes fighting in the street. So I don't know the details of that, so I'm not going to comment on that one. No, exactly, Dennis. It's happening worldwide, and the thing is, the mainstream media are only reporting it the way they want us to see it, and not actually what's really going on. You know, anybody. Hi, Michael. Anybody who speaks out against it and has anything to say is considered to be right wing. That's the problem. You know, it's okay for them to do what they do, but if we speak up against it, then we're right wing and causing trouble. So I've got a cigarette that likes to keep going out. They sort of give up smoking cigarettes. They have half a tree trunk in them when you get halfway down, and then they go out. Oh yeah, of course they do, Pickle. Absolutely. But what they are doing is they're not telling the truth, you see, and then that causes people to react knowing that we're being lied to. People are reacting to the fact that we're being told lies, and that's where the problem lies. Nobody believes the mainstream media anymore, you know. I mean, part of the trouble started with this because it was reported that the person involved was of a particular ethnic origin, when in fact he wasn't. And then, of course, all the rumours started, and then the violence and all the rest of it. But the public now have no faith in mainstream media. Do you want to get banned, Timo? I'll dare you come in here and say the biggest Liverpool fan. Morning, Marsha. Hi, Wicked. Good to see you, buddy. Then Timo coming in and stirring the pot as soon as he comes in. Look, I'll have to ban him, both on Google and here. It's bad enough they nick the towels off the loungers and steal your toast without coming in and starting about Liverpool. Hi, JJ. Hi, Sabine. Give Timo a kick up the butt for me. No, trying to upset me, coming in here mentioning Liverpool. But yeah, so sad times. The world sure is a mess at the moment. But I say, I don't condone the violence. I don't think that's the answer. I don't think attacking the police. And the stupidity of it is they're burning police vans and smashing them to pieces. Well, who's going to pay for that? The taxpayer. So it's a bit of a stupid thing to do, really. Comes out of people's taxes. But certainly some very violent scenes. I saw the clean-up operation this morning, and they're having to use bulldozers and diggers to clear up. People's garden walls were broken down, so they had bricks to throw at the police vehicles. Well, I think we deserve some hope worldwide. I don't know when it's going to come, you know. So it's just absolute utter madness out there. It's like a war zone, you know. The trouble is, no one minds people coming into a country, but don't bring your trouble with you. You know, don't bring your fights to our doorstep. That's how I feel about it. We had like the sort of, I think it was Bangladesh's communities causing problems. They probably don't pay taxes. If they do, that means they're not. Yeah, exactly. It's true, Dennis. You know, I mean, they're wrecking, you know, thousands of pounds worth of police vehicles, which will probably be written off because of the damage, and they've got to be replaced. So that comes out of taxpayers' money. And the violence that they've done, all that does is give the government and the powers that be even more to tell us, oh yeah, far right, and you're an extremist, rather than the people have had enough. It makes it look like it's an organised. Yeah, it's true, Frank, absolutely true. The thing is, that kind of activity gives them the excuse to call people that are standing up for your rights as extremists. You're branded, but when you start, you know, resorting to that level of violence. So it's absolute madness. It really is. So it's all good, Nitro. All good, buddy. All good. You know. So they need to actually, if the people need to speak up, there's no doubt about it. But violence isn't the answer. Violence, vandalism, etc., is not the way to deal with it. It's not the way to deal with it. I will show you it, give you a bit of entertainment to wake up to. I'll show you the video, just some clips. I'm called a Nazi because I'm thinking like you about the. Well, exactly. We don't mind anyone coming to the UK as long as they abide by our values and our laws, but they come here and want to change everything. So this has been. And the sad thing is that those three girls were 6, 7, and 9 years old, murdered. So it's absolutely crazy. Like I say, that was senseless. I understand people's anger. I understand people's frustration. But doing that is not going to solve it. Hi, Mav, or Maeve, or whatever. I'll say Mav. Yeah, I don't condone that kind of action because that's not going to achieve anything other than alienate, basically, British people. You know, it's that is not the way to deal with it. Not even protesting, but people need to come out in numbers and say enough is enough. You know, enough is enough, but not resort to that kind of thing. I mean, that there was already problems, but that kicked off over the knifeman. There was people laying flowers at the site where those girls were murdered, and he was going there with a knife, obviously to go and stab people within the crowd that were laying the flowers. That's just an assumption. I don't know the full facts because they've not released all the facts. I don't accept that as truth. That's what we've been told so far, that they believe that's what his intention was. But, you know, these people are killing our children. You know, they're killing our children. And when they're not killing our children, they're recruiting them basically as like sex addict slaves, you know, into the slave industry. So it is a mess. You're quite right, Gator. People kill people, but not everybody kills, you know. That's the thing. I mean, I had some idiot last night decided to sort of say about, you know, all the things that we'd done in history, all the places and people that we slaughtered over the years. But that was war. That was war. That wasn't terrorism. We were never terrorists, you know. No, that's fine, Sabine. It's absolutely fine. I agree with you 100%. People need to stand up to it, you know. Well, this is why I think the people went crazy yesterday. Like I say, I don't agree with it. I understand their frustrations, and for some, they've cut. You know, this is where it all gets completely fucked up. The people, a lot of the people that were there that you saw in that footage, travelled there from outside the area, young men, basically just to kick off. Yes, a lot of those were local residents that had had enough, and they knew the people whose children were stabbed to death. But there was also an awful lot of people that rocked up just to cause trouble. And that's where it all starts to weaken the case. You know, yes, you know, if people want to refer to Britain's past, yeah, we went all around the world slaughtering people. That's how we built an empire. But we didn't sneak in and go and live amongst them and then start killing them. We actually like invaded the country and did the slaughtering. You know, we didn't sort of move in next door and then think, right, I'll stab the guy in the chip shop, you know, sort of thing. It was, you know, a planned sort of thing. But all the countries that we had in the empire, if you look, they prospered after we took over. They didn't suffer, you know, as a result. Their lives actually became better. I'm not saying the way we gained the territory was necessarily correct, but they actually gained. They weren't worse off for it. You know, places like Barbados and all that, you know, they love it. Well, that's exactly the problem, you see, Marsha. They can do what they want to do, and then as soon as we speak out against it or we act, we're the ones that get arrested. Now, I don't blame the police for that. The police have to do as they're told, ultimately. They have to answer to the government and whatever body, you know, dictates to them. You know, when you think about it, those poor police officers, you know, last night, I think it was 52 injured, 32 quite seriously from bricks and stuff, that were projectiles that were thrown at them. Those police officers have wives and children. It must be as disturbing for them as it is for the rest of us. But they have to abide by what the government tell them to do. You know, I'm sure, you know, I don't for 1 minute imagine the police are happy about what's going on. As I say, they've all got families, and they must fear for the safety of their families. So, as I say, to target the police in that way is not the answer. They're not the enemy. I know we feel they are when we get like unjust justice, but their job is to police, and if the government tell them that's what they've got to do, that's what they've got to do. You know, so the anger should not be taken out on the police. It's not going to achieve anything. Well, I'm sure they do, Marsha. You know, like I say, they've got wives and they've got children. They're obviously concerned because ultimately, all right, whilst they're handling these people with kid gloves because the government have told them they've got to, it's going to affect their lives the same as it's going to affect ours. They're not going to be exempt from the effects of this invasion, this taking over. They will suffer as a result, and they already are, because their powers are being stripped away from them. You know, more and more, they're not allowed to enforce the law against certain ethnic groups, because if they do, then they're called racist. So the police are in a situation where they can't win, unfortunately. Like they're in a, you know, they cannot win. What, you know, they can't do right for doing wrong, if you know what I mean. So I feel sorry for them. I know there are a lot of people who wouldn't agree with me and say they consider the police to be the enemy, but they're really not. They're really not. This is why many cops want to serve and protect the smallest. Yeah, yeah. People. It's the government that are against the people, not the police. At the end of the day, I know, you see individuals of police officers that are corrupt or whatever, but it seems that the whole world has gone mad anyway. We've had police officers here raping women, murdering women. We had one that was recently sent to prison for using a police computer to commit burglaries. So, and this is people that we trust to protect us. And that's where the problem lies. The police needs to be scrapped and basically reformed. I can see the way things are going, the police will end up being like a paramilitary organisation. They'll be more military than they will be police, and will be under like martial law the way things are going. That'll be the next step. There'll be curfews and all that. You won't be allowed outside your house after a certain time, and there'll be an awful lot more stop and search because of people carrying weapons. And I can see it coming. I can see it coming. Because they said he had to obey the rules. Yeah, that's true, Sabine. That's the problem. Had to make unconform, fled on a boat. Yeah, it's sad that the world has become that way. It really is. It really is. I don't know, where it's going to end. That's the thing. I don't know where and when it's going to end. As I've said before, it's certainly not the world I expected to grow up in and see. Yeah, I mean, we're not armed here, but I can foresee there being a situation where people will arm themselves because they fear for their lives. A lot of people are afraid to go out at night in London. Now, London has never been like that. There were certain areas, as there always is everywhere, where you perhaps wouldn't go after a certain time of night. But now, hi, Squirrel, good to see you, buddy. Yeah. Body cams. Yes. Hi, Stephen. It's important to film stuff. That's the thing. Cover your ass basically when dealing with the police. As I say, they're not all bad. Yeah, there's some. Power goes to the head, probably bullied at school. The only problem is they always end up closing ranks and supporting each other. It's kicking off on many estates now. It's getting very unsafe. Yeah, exactly, Sonia. Well, even where I am, I can go out and certain parts, certain ethnic groups look at me like I have no right to be there. This is my country. They look at me like they want to kill me. You walk past them to walk into a shop and they look at you as if you're, you shouldn't feel like that in your own country. Be stared at by immigrants that look at you threateningly. It's not acceptable. I made quite a few people laugh yesterday. I said anybody who's got a big bushy beard should be deported. Yeah, doesn't work though, unfortunately, Dennis. Doesn't work. The broom had come out. As I've jokingly said, the threat of a life sentence is no threat at all to an old person. So I would kill to defend my family without hesitation. I wouldn't even think twice about it. So let's sing a 2-tier police force. We are at the moment, Squirrel. We are at the moment, because they've been told by the government to pussyfoot around these people, because otherwise they're called racists. That's the first thing they do. As soon as they're arrested for any kind of insurrection or anything illegal, it's an act of racism. It's not an act of policing. And that's where the problem lies. As soon as the police do enforce the law, they're branded as racists. And this is the problem. So, yeah, 100%, Dennis. You're right. Hi, Carl. Good to see you, buddy. 100%. 100%. Yeah. Well, if you could see the scenes this morning in that street, they had to have bulldozers and diggers to clear up all the rubble. They'd ripped down road signs and everything. Yeah, that's true, Nitro. I agree with that. Like I say, some of them were bullied at school, so that's the only way they can get there. And they don't like it when you question their authority. If they ask you something, you're supposed to comply as far as they're concerned, even if it's not within the law. You digest from the jail food. Thanks, Carl. Yeah, we're very lucky. So that's the thing. I get to look at that. I don't have to face a lot of what's going on. I'm sure if I ventured out more, and full coverage footage of the guy setting fire. Yeah, exactly. There was no need for that. Ridiculous. Yeah, yeah. I mean, the scenes last night were an angry mob, basically taking it out on the police, which, as I say, was not the answer. It happened yesterday. It happened yesterday. The children were stabbed on Monday at a Taylor Swift dance studio thing, like school holiday club type thing. They were stabbed on Monday. People were laying flowers yesterday and saying enough is enough. And then the main thing kicked off last night after a man was arrested with a knife. I'll run it again for those who haven't seen it. You'll see the scenes. It's only short. It's about 2 minutes. Yeah. Right. I now have to play something a little bit more cheerier. For Sonia. Not Sonia. Was it Sonia? No, it wasn't. It was Pickle. Thank you very much, Pickle. This is for you. Thank you very much, Pickle, for the kind donation. Yeah, I mean, with the incidents with the police, it was 52 police officers injured, 32 quite seriously. I mean, they were hurling bricks and all sorts at them. And initially, those guys didn't have any riot gear or protection. They were just your standard police officers. So quite a lot were injured quite severely. And I don't agree with that in any way, shape or form. As I say, they shouldn't. But what the excuse of the people that did that was that the police had lied to them about the ethnic origins of the guy concerned and his age. They're saying, oh, he's 17. So they don't have to give his name. They don't have to divulge who he is because he's underage. So the implication was that the police had lied to them. But again, you know, that sort of speculation, I don't know. I don't take an awful lot of notice of mainstream media. So, hi, beauty therapist. Good to see you. I don't take a lot of notice because it's mainstream media. You know, they report it and go along with the narrative that the government want. And then you see later on CCTV footage of what actually happened. And it varies quite considerably. It's like anything. You can twist it and to suit whatever you want. And everything I say relating to this is purely my opinion. It's not based on fact because I don't know. I wasn't there. I can only sort of report on what I've seen. It's been stated that actually started over somebody misstating what had happened and spreading it all over social media, that the guy was a Muslim and all the rest of it. And it was, you know, when there was no evidence available to suggest that he was. So it kicked off basically based on potentially lies, you know, misinformation. But then we always know also there are always people out there that any excuse to kick off, you know, you see it all the time with the football, you know, let's face it, your football team, they lose, they go outside afterwards and kick $7 of crap out of the opposing team and go on the rampage smashing shops up just because they lost at football. So there's a lot of this mentality that any excuse, you know, for a punch up, basically. So a lot of last night's events were people acting out of anger and blind anger as well, not knowing really why they were doing it, just following the crowd. And what seems to have been forgotten about when you see the news today is those poor kids that have lost their lives, 6, 7 and 9 years old. Those 3 little girls went to a Taylor Swift dance studio, you know, and that's how their day ended and their lives. Thanks, beauty therapist. Yes, since I last saw you, my channel has grown quite considerably. We're a great community. If you want your link dropped in the chat so people can connect to you, if you just type medic, it will drop your link. Beauty therapist. Wow. Probably 2 years ago since I last spoke to that person. But anybody of you want your links dropped that's not a mod, just type medic and it will drop your link for you. We have a great community. We're very supportive. We all help each other in any way we can, sometimes with fundraising for worthy causes, helping people grow their channels. You know, Mayhem and Miracles is another one out there for supporting channels and promoting people. That's what we're about. It's terrible, the state the world's in. Absolutely. Yeah, England will outlaw pocket knives and knitting needles next. What do you mean next? They already have, basically, Dennis. Hi, you backtrack. Good to see you, buddy. They pretty much have anyway. Soon we'll only be out to eat with plastic knives and forks. Yeah. So soon we'll only be able to have plastic knives and forks. I've done it so that if you type medic, it's a lot easier than you going to your channels. I don't have a channel as such. I don't really come on here. Ah, right. Fair enough. Fair enough. They probably will. Yeah. They'll probably stuff the plastic down your throat. Choke you. So, but, yeah, it's absolutely mad. Yeah, it's gone well. So, and we have an amazing community. Everybody that's in here now is absolutely amazing. They, you know, they are all good people. All good people. And like-minded for the most part. So we don't always all agree on everything, but then that's part of being an individual. But for the most part, we are all like-minded. We all want YouTube to be a decent place for people to hang out and chat to each other. We don't tolerate the dross, basically. They soon get dispatched. You know, we very rarely get trolled, and if we do, they're gone very quickly. So, but yeah, I've been, you know, just helping out doing intros for people and stuff like that, banners, plus editing my stuff, bit of wildlife. Thanks, beauty therapist. I do my best. Well, now I'm retired, I have more time to do it. That's the other thing. I wasn't so laid back and chilled as I am now. When I was working, I was getting very, very frustrated with the rate of growth of my channel and how things were going, because working a job and then coming home and trying to do YouTube. And I know Nitro would agree with me with that. You know, when you're working and trying to build a channel, it's a nightmare. When you're retired, you've got the time to put into it and you get the results. And that's what I've seen personally, that since I've had the time to do it, my channel has grown and the community's grown. But it is difficult. You know, you've got the pressure of a sort of a job. Yeah, that was an experiment. I also caught a hare and one of the hawks. So, which was quite good. I just set it up on a motion activator, and yeah, really good. And this is the thing, you know, and I'll openly admit I fell into the trap of the YouTube grind and wasting too much time concentrating on the figures. I was getting frustrated. I spat my dummy out and was going to quit. You know, I don't mind admitting it. I was going to spit my dummy out and quit. Well, fuck this, I've had enough. But to be honest, you can't work and have a YouTube channel easily. It's not an easy thing to do because you're knackered for a start. And to grow a channel, you have to put in the effort. You have to put the time in. And I couldn't do that. I didn't have the time to spare. But there are so many channels out there promoting misinformation about YouTube that people starting out follow these guidelines and then get really hacked off. Hi, Amy. get really hacked off, you know. Oh shit, it's only 25 here and I'm bitching. Well, I don't know what that is in, because I don't know who measure it, but dreading it, got to mow the grass today. Phew. You know what you'll have to do, Nitro? You'll have to get up about 5 a.m. and go and cut the grass at 5 a.m. before it gets hot. The neighbours won't thank you, but I think that's the only way you're going to survive that kind of heat. Jesus. Yeah, exactly, beauty therapist. You know, you really can't do it. So it's my neighbours do that crap. Well, I'll tell you what, Nitro, have a word with them, get them to cut yours then at the same time. Give them a few dollars. So while you're up with the lawnmower, cut mine. It'd be worth it not to have to go out and do it yourself. It made me laugh, actually. Before I moved here, when the crazy thing about this country, for anybody who doesn't live here, is that you know that we get just a little bit of rain here in the UK, not very often, just a little touch of rain now and again. And come the summer, given that we're flooded sometimes because of all the rain, we always have a drought. And then we have a water shortage. And they tell you you can't use your hose pipe to water your garden, and you can't do this and you can't do that, which is crazy. And I remember hearing a noise at about midnight and looked out the bedroom window. My neighbour was outside in the garden watering his flowers, because they used to use helicopters to spot you and then you'd get a fine for watering your garden. But the way he was standing with his hose pipe, it looked like he was in the back garden taking a piss. It was hilarious. Likewise, beauty therapist, it is good to see you. Just say hi, everyone, beauty therapist. It's easier. Yeah, it looked like he was out there at midnight having a pee in his back garden, but he was watering the flowers. But I just think that's funny. That's down to gross mismanagement. You know, it's crazy that we have all this rain and flooding, and then come the summer we have a drought. You know where that comes from, Nitro? That comes from getting up early in the morning and nicking the towels off the sun lounges around the pool on holiday, where people reserve their sun lounges by the pool. The Germans get up at like 3 o'clock in the morning and chuck all the towels on the floor and put theirs in their place. Oh dear. Yeah, as I say, it's got to be at least 2 years, beauty therapist. It's got to be at least 2 years since I've seen you. Been a long while. Yeah, I swear Germans never sleep. Mind you, Nitro, neither do Norwegians. Look at Poker, he's as bad. Sod keeps me up half the night. I plan to do an hour's live or a 2 hour live, and 6 hours later I'm still live. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. So, Nitro, type medic in the chat and drop your link. I'm sure there's people here that are not connected to you. There's some newbies that have come in that are not connected to your channel. I've not wrenched everybody because it's easier for people just to type medic rather than go to their channel, copy their link and drop it. So, there you go. If you're not connected to Nitro, take a look. He's not for everybody. He's very outspoken, like myself and Marsha and 1 or 2 others, Marines and Army Mum, etc. And some people don't like that. They like to be wrapped up in cotton wool. But this cinnamon creamer does not go with more s'mores coffee. No, I'm not. I'm pretty sure cinnamon wouldn't go so well with that, to be honest. Backtrack. Nitro who? Well, yeah, I know he's not very well known on YouTube, Dennis. A lot of people don't know who Nitro is. You know, you don't see him around much, so you know he needs to be promoted. I'm rethinking my whole morning. Yeah, I probably would. Yeah, as I say, I set it up with that because yeah, no one has heard of me. Yeah. Oh dear, oh dear. That's the thing. That's what Marsha and I say, and you say it. You've got to put yourself out there. That's why a certain person's channel isn't growing, because he doesn't put himself out there. Sticks with the same crowd. You know, I mean, I know that Nitro goes to sewing channels, beauty channels, gaming channels. You know, can you see me in Nitro? Well, actually, no, we do need a bit of the health, the beauty treatment. But it's not necessarily our thing, but that's how you build your community, by going out to other communities. You can't just sit back and wait for it to come to you. I'm all over the place. I go to channels, and the next thing I know, Marsha's there, and then Nitro will appear. Channels you wouldn't imagine seeing us in. You know, you've got to spread your net wide, but certain people think that you just sit back and it comes to you, and it doesn't. And I look at it, I'm getting the notifications after it was Nitro. That's why I saw, you know, Jeremy's with him running the car full speed, and you say, I laughed when you said you don't have to have the throttle wide open just because the trigger goes all the way back. But I didn't catch it at the time. You know, it's crazy. Yeah, I've been doing that, Marsha. I've been subbing and unsubbing to try and get. I did get a notification of one of Nitro's lives the other day, and I was stunned. I actually got the live as he went live. So, keep going to Fish Channel. I'm learning a lot of things I never thought I would find interesting. But so, exactly, Pickle. You know, I mean, Amy, I love her channel. And I mean, if I hadn't have been doing a live myself last night, I would have sat and watched her whole live, because I really like watching what Amy does, you know. But who would have thought? I didn't know until I'd gone in there how great it was. I wouldn't, if I'd have just seen the thumbnail, I probably wouldn't have looked. And I can't really remember how I stumbled across it, but I'm glad I did, because I will sit and watch her do an entire work, you know, from start to finish. So there's a lot of good channels out there, you know. Watched both last night. Yeah, that way you can. It's difficult when you're doing a live yourself, but I had it running in the background on my iPad, although I wasn't actually watching it. You know, because hey, you know, you can't really watch another live stream while you're streaming live yourself, unless of course you're doing it with a certain YouTuber where we used to simultaneously watch him and hold our own lives. Yeah. Oh, you're welcome, Amy. You got a great channel. Love watching your stuff. And as I've said to you before, the way when you do your videos that you explain it, really professional. It's like a proper pucker, a bit like you get the how-to videos, you know. And it is different than watching you live, because obviously you're making mistakes when you're doing it live, and you're also interacting with the chat. But when you do the videos and you're explaining what you're doing, it's great. I think they're really, really professionally done. So, you know, and this is what we need. We need more good YouTubers out there, you know. Nitro needs to do some more wrenching videos, because whilst I'm not really into Nitro IC cars, I'm into sort of engineering and anything that of that nature, that's sort of technical. I enjoy that. So Nitro's definitely got to get back to wrenching. Hi, Tammy. Good to see you. I'm glad your flooding didn't turn out to be a major disaster. That would have been such a shame if that had wrecked your room. So I was glad to hear. Brilliant. Brilliant. I'll share that out on my community tab if you do. Get some people in. It's always great when you do the wrenching. You know how it's been going, Nitro. A lot of the conversation seems to still centre around one person. At least you can avoid it if you're doing the wrenching. You can get off that subject and get on with what you used to do. And sort of, you know, the topic of conversation would be a bit different. I know you're not happy with it, but you have to run with what your audience want. That's for sure, as we all do. Yeah, I know you are, Nitro. I know you are. Because I've noticed recently the numbers do drop away when that comes up. I know you respond to the chat, and say we all have to, you know. Take care, beauty therapist. Good to see you. Don't work too hard in this heat. Take care. Yeah. If your chat bring the subject up, you know, you do have to sort of follow it. That's where the difficulty comes in. And it is difficult to steer back on topic sometimes because the chat won't let you. So, you know what it is like? We've got to take control of our country, Nitro. We've got to take control of our channels. Yes, I saw that you'd hurt your back, Tammy. I hope you have a bit of a rest today and take it easy. I didn't. I will have a look. I will definitely take a look, Tammy. And I shall give it a thumbs up and the usual. We just have to get it done. Well, if you want to reign supreme, Nitro, if you want to reign supreme, yeah. Oh, dear, oh, dear. I wish I knew what that meant, reigning supreme. Does that mean world domination? A bit like Blofeld out of fucking James Bond. Worldwide domination, getting it done. No. It's just crazy. Right there. This is how crap starts. No, surely not, Nitro. Surely not. Like you, I have no desire to be a big channel. I'm comfortable. I mean, my channel is growing, but I'm comfortable with the numbers I've got. I don't want to be. I'm not interested in a silver play button. What the hell do I want a silver play button for? I've got enough junk in this place without one of those as well. I'd just rather have a small community with good people. That's what really counts. You know, you look at some of these big channels with their silver play buttons and look at what they've got. Hi, Isabella. It's just not worth it. All that stress just to get a play button on the wall. No, only if it's solid silver. Well, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I know, Tammy. I did put a video, show a video earlier. I won't show it again now, otherwise people get fed up with it. But there's been rioting and all sorts as a result. Unfortunately, they are targeting the wrong people, but there you go. People have just had enough. They're losing their minds. It's just going to blow up. The level of anger in this country towards this is unbelievable. People really have had enough. They're sick of it, you know. So, river or lake? That is the question. Well, a bit of both, really. Because I've got a bit of river that goes into the lake. And the bit of river is where the otters lurk because it's flowing water. They do go into the edge of the lake, but they're on the inlet to the lake that's flowing. It is. It's worldwide, Tammy. Absolutely, 100%. people are at, you know, boiling point. But I think this is what the government want. I think when we all explode and there's rioting everywhere, then they'll increase powers and probably involve the military, and then we'll be under like martial law, you know. You're going fishing. Well, if I was going fishing, I'd probably choose the lake. Sit next to the lake. Just relax. I'm not much of a fisherman these days. I used to be when I was younger, because I used to like going with my grandfather. That was the main reason I used to go fishing, to spend time with my granddad. That was great. But in latter years, I've not really done much. It's out of gas. Let's use the other one. I think it's because I'm impatient. I'm not known for my patience. And so I think sitting there waiting for a fish to take the bait. I think me, if I went fishing, that'd be an excuse for me to go and sit somewhere nice and peaceful and go to sleep. The rod would be in the water and I'd be sound asleep. I'll be sitting under a tree somewhere snoozing. That's why they call it fishing and not catching. Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. Very true. Yes. Yes. I don't know, you know, if the names of fish there are the same as like here, like freshwater fish. If you, I don't know if you have perch. If you catch a perch in the UK, you will never catch another fish after that, because they warn all the others. You ask any fisherman here, you catch a perch and you're buggered for the rest of the day. They somehow they warn all the other fish, and that's it. You'll not get another bite all day long. Whereas roach, you can pull roach out of the river one after the other with no difficulty. Oh wow, from your hometown won a gold. You've used perch for bait, yeah. I used to pull them out one after the other, literally. That's, you know, so not perch, roach. But yeah, here perch, they will warn the other fish. You can't catch any fish anyway. I probably couldn't these days, to be honest. Like I say, I don't have the patience anymore. You know, I'm a miserable old man. No, I'm not miserable, but I don't have a lot of patience, I have to say. Fish are like cockroaches. Word spreads fast in the community. Oh dear, that sounds like YouTube. It's a bit like that on YouTube. You caught a pike with a perch for bait. Yeah. There was, when I was growing up, there was a lake. It was called Hatfield Forest, and it was National Trust. I mean, you had to pay to go in. Jesus. And they had this beautiful lake, and you'd be sitting there like with an ice cream or something, and you'd see a duck, and suddenly the duck would disappear, be pulled under the water, and it was a pike. You'd get the small ducks, boom, gone. Sort of like the lake equivalent of the Loch Ness Monster. Ducks were disappearing. Hey Stuart, good to see you, buddy. See, we've got a fish whisperer in now. We've got the expert on fishing. So just make sure I've kept up with the chat. I'm not missing anybody. No, it all seems good. All seems up to date. But I certainly wouldn't want to go fishing in this weather, that's for sure. I'd more likely end up in the lake having a swim. It's like now there's no signs of life around the lake at the moment. With this sun at the moment being so hot, all the ducks and all that have taken cover. Oh yeah, me too, Stuart. Freshwater fish, not a problem. Mind you, I have come face to face with some sea fish, you know, cod. Cod are damn ugly looking things. I've come face to face with a cod while diving. Which actually, when you're diving in sort of murky water and you turn around and suddenly you've got a massive great cod staring you in the face. And they're quite big and they're ugly bastards. They're quite ugly. I've also seen some sort of mutated fish as well. Yeah. Well, Russell's not turning up. He either turns up very, very early for his food before the sun gets up, or much later before it just starts to get dark. As I look outside now, there's no birds anywhere. You know, not a sign, none flying, nothing out there at all. It's too hot for them. No, I don't want to talk about fishing, Stuart. I'm a lazy fisherman. In other words, I don't. But thank you very much for the offer. If you want to drop your link, though, just type medic and it will drop your link for you. Oh, it's already done it because you type medic. See, all you have to do is type medic when you're talking to me. It drops your link for you. He picks up the word medic. All right, Tammy, you take care. Have a good day, and you be careful of your back. Take it a bit steady today, otherwise you'll put yourself out of action. We've got it's on most of the day here on the BBC, Dennis, but you know. The BBC will seem to show most of the sport, but I just sort of flick in now and again and have a look. We're just getting a change of the weather, thunders. Yeah, well, we've had a severe weather warning. We've been threatened with storms as well, I think tonight, stroke tomorrow. So, yeah, you're going to get it first there, and then we'll get it probably later tonight. No. It used to be on all the big channels, but nothing now. That's true. That's very true. There you go. There's Tammy's channel, Mum and Son Train Rail Fans. As I say, people with wrenches can drop links anyway, but it's just so much easier for you guys just to type medic rather than you click it on your own channels and doing it, which is what you normally have to do. So, I've just done that, made it easy. So you don't need to have everybody have a wrench. And doing that with Nightbot makes it so much easier. Take care, Tammy. Say hi to Ray for me. I say, you know, we've got an awesome bunch of people here, and it's great, you know. Yeah, that's true, Dennis. That's true. The whole thing is about separating people, that's for sure. Keeping us all, you know, in our little nice, neat little boxes. I need to go and get a drink, so I am going to run a video while I go and get me a drink. So I'll give you a video to watch. I'll let you have this one. That gives me time to go and get myself a drink. Yes, that's a bit of the old with the drone. And all filmed with my little baby one as well. But the ones I liked the best were the ones where I did the cruise ships. A bit scary following a cruise ship leaving Southampton, but interesting. Especially when you're doing it early hours in the morning and it's still sort of dark and the sun's just coming up. Nerve-wracking. A bit like Nitro with damaging his, his car. There's always the risk of losing the drone when you're flying over water. It can be quite scary. Like today, it's so bright. It's even with filters on, it's too bright to use the drone. It's sometimes difficult to find the right kind of weather to do it in. Because I say, if it's bright, really bright and sunny, it's very, very difficult. Oh yeah, I've done a few through bridges, between rocks on the beach, through tunnels. It's well, one of the bridges on one of them that I did. I'm trying to think where it was now. Peebles. I nearly hit the bridge. So, yeah. I approached it quite fast and there was a little bit of sort of like turbulence and I only just missed hitting the bridge as I was flying towards it and then went to fly over it. It didn't climb quite as quickly as I would have hoped. But very impressive for something that was actually a bit of a mistake. As sometimes things often are. And I've also captured some stuff by accident as well, That's why it's always best to start off with a cheapie, Pickle. Start off with a cheap one. Don't worry about the fact it's got a crappy camera on it. Get used to flying it. At least with a crappy camera, you can see on the screen what the drone is seeing, even if the footage isn't great. And that'll help you learn certain maneuvers. With the DJI drones, you get an app for your phone to fly it. But I've got a paid one, called Litchi, which is really good because I can literally look at a map of the area that comes up on the screen and tap on it where I want the drone to go. Still waiting on your drone from me. Well, I'll tell you what, when I get to like 500,000 subscribers and I'm earning a ton of money on YouTube, I'll give drones as giveaways. How's that sound? When I've got it done and I've reigned supreme on YouTube, I'll start giving out drones as gifts. So yeah, Amazon or eBay, as I say, with a cheap camera. Hey, cool friends, we need subs. Oh dear. You never know. All sorts of things can happen. 500k subs giveaway. Yeah, that sounds fair. I'll probably be dead and buried by the time I get to 500k. I wouldn't want to get that big. I really wouldn't want to get that big. I pretty much like where I am. I know the channel is growing, but I pretty much like where I am. I have no desire to be a big channel. I really haven't. I'd rather keep it small with good people. Like I said, backtrack. You just go out and buy a cheapie. I know eBay are doing them for like around about $40. You know, with what they tell you is a 4K camera. It's not even 1080p. But at least if you look at it, the Nitro about GoPros and beer money. Yeah. Oh, I'm glad you reminded me of that. I've got a little camera somewhere. I don't know what the hell I've done with it. Is that it over there? Yes. I've got a tiny little, it's actually the inside of a body cam. And it's really tiny. And I'm going to put it on the tank. So you get the view from the tank when I'm running the tank. I thought that'd be really cool. And then film it from the drone. Yeah, exactly. You've done your cheap drone mistakes. And the thing is, you know, you see all these ones advertised on eBay, you know, 4K camera does this, does that. No, they don't. And they're not 4K. And they're not even 1080p. So the quality of the footage is absolute shite. But to learn to fly a drone and be able to see what the drone's seeing, it's okay. Yeah, it depends on what you want from a drone. So, but always good to pack. You know, if you have a drone, you will crash. That's a fact. Even now, after 6 years of experience flying drones, I still sometimes make mistakes and come very close. You know, this is one of those things. And saying I can't fly over the lake because the minute I do, the geese go after it. Two schools of thought there. If I use the Mini and the geese go after that, they'll destroy the drone. If I use the big one, that'll probably destroy the geese and the drone at the same time. So I try and avoid that. Yeah. We had a storm about 20 minutes ago now, just rain. Well, so they've threatened us with storms, so but I suspect, judging by how it is here at the moment, that will be tonight. I doubt whether we'll see it today. We will see. We will see. I'm just looking to see if I can see what the weather's, what they forecast here. Yeah, by sort of like tea time, we're probably going to get them hitting. That's the thing here, when the weather gets sort of hot and then you beat like cold air, we end up with really nice storms, which is, you know, all good fun. Let me just see. Bear with me a second, I'm just looking for something. Can't find it. No, I've got stuff all over the place. Never mind. I won't worry about that. I bought a drone online and 3 months later I got a refund from PayPal dispute from... Oh, right. 3 months it took. Bloody hell. Hi, Queen Ninja. Good to see you. I've been quite lucky with eBay, to be fair. I've had problems with Amazon recently, with them just dumping the parcels on the doorstep and then buggering off and not letting you know it's there. So that's a long while to wait, 3 months. And say hi to Logman for me. Yeah, I know. I have had that, Paul, where they, you know, they've never even sent it. Quite often, a lot of companies, what they do is they advertise stuff, you order it, and they've not even got it, and they never send it, and they disappear. You don't find them on there anymore. So that comes out of PayPal's like insurance, basically. I've had that happen to me a couple of times where I've ordered stuff and it's never ever come. And then you try to find the place that you bought it from and they're no longer on eBay because they've taken your money and done a runner, basically. You know, and you get the usual delay tactics. Yes, it's on its way. It's on its way. That way you don't put in a claim, and then it gives them a chance to con a few more people before they close the shop down, basically. I've had that happen. There's a lot of that on eBay. I wanted the drone, got scared off after 3 months. Well, yeah, I suppose you would. One of the big sprayer drones to fertilise these fields, we're still looking. We watched it fly off towards Ohio. Oh my God. That's one of the advantages with the hobby drones. They are programmed in such a way that if it loses contact with the radio, it returns to the home point. It returns to where it took off. There was a time when drones would sometimes just do their own thing and bugger off. I had it happen to me with my very first drone. It just flew off. It didn't matter what I did. I couldn't control it. Couldn't get it to come back to me at all. So I thought, my initial reaction was, oh, fuck it. You know, £350 worth of drone down the Swanee, gone. Opened the back door of the car up, turned the radio off, threw it on the seat and lit up a cigarette. And 5 minutes later, I heard above me what sounded like a load of angry hornets flying overhead. And there it was. It came back and it landed virtually within a metre of where it took off. So there's a tip for anyone who loses a drone. Turn the radio off and it will come back. That's what they tend to do. They return to the home point. So that's always worth a go. I didn't, you know, it just shows you how much I read the handbook. I just flew it. It flew off and oh, fuck it, lost it. Threw the radio on the back seat and bam, it came back. Very good, Queen. Very, very good. I like that. Oh dear, oh dear. That is funny. Mind you, what I would say is I'd question that. What, you mean he actually got to see a doctor? I thought doctors were just a myth, a bit like unicorns. You know, you hear about them, but you rarely see them. A bit like me, Marsha, you know. I come back, I'm like a boomerang. just when you think you got rid of me, I come back. Oh dear, oh dear. I probably won't run this for much longer today because I need to get something to eat. And I know Marshall will be firing up a live shortly, of which I would like to be a part of. So I shall run this just past. I'll run it for another 5 minutes and then I'll call it a day. And I'll probably do another one tomorrow. I'll see how I feel. I have time to get up in the morning and see, you know. Yeah, catch you later, Nitro. Have a good day, buddy. And don't overdo it in this heat, cutting that grass. Make sure you've make sure you got plenty of beer to keep hydrated. Nitro's wife will find him asleep in his workshop with the lawnmower running outside, nobody in it. Oh dear, oh dear. There was things I planned to do today, and as soon as I woke up and saw how hot it was, I thought, I sod that. I've got a few beers to keep me cool. Yeah, I was going to say, and then you'll fall asleep and the lawnmower will be outside with the engine running and you'll be asleep in the workshop. Take care, Nitro. Have a good one, buddy. Yes, that appealed to my sense of humour, Queen. That was very good. Very, very good. But I will send you off with my intro as such when I shut down. Give you something nice to watch before I go. It's 11 a.m. It's 9:42 here. Yeah. So I've got to get something to eat. So I will finish this in another 4 or 5 minutes. And then, but hopefully everybody's had a good time waking up this morning with their coffee and joining UK Medic and his nonsense. Despite the rioting and all the nonsense we've got going on here at the moment. Fortunately, it's not going on where I am. So, and my thoughts are still with the families that lost those 3 children. And the count could be higher because the others are in hospital critically ill. So that's not necessarily the end of it, unfortunately. I haven't missed anything, have I? No. It's bizarre. Normally, there's a lag between YouTube and StreamYard, i.e., it happens on YouTube after StreamYard, and quite a delay. But for some reason, StreamYard is behind YouTube. So there's another thing that seems to have gone a bit strange. But there you go. It's working. That's the main thing. Right. Oh. Getting ready for a thunderstorm. Yeah, we've got one ready for tonight. Heading this way, but it won't be till sort of about 5, 6 o'clock. It's all this hot weather, get the thunderstorms. But welcome, Roger. I'm going to be shutting down in a few minutes, but thanks for stopping by anyway. Yeah, just type Medic Ninja, Queen Ninja, and that'll drop your link for you. Next time you come in, Pickle, I'll give you a wrench, and then you can just click on people's. I'm not going to fan you about today as I'm shutting down now, but next time you come in, I'll give you a wrench. Yeah, no worries, Roger. Thanks for stopping by, and be good to see you again. Right, I'm going to take care of everyone. I'm headed out as well. Take care, JJ. I'm going to run my intros and outro because it's nice, it's pleasant. So this is me intro outro.
When the sun comes up, a brand new start. Find your way, heal your heart. Mornings can be bright with UK Medic by your side. Feel the peace, enjoy the ride. UK Medic, best way to start your day. Chase those morning blues away. Wake up with a smile, stay happy for a while. the light on your face. Let joy take its place. Simple pleasure, simple grace. Coffee and a tune. Let's dance to the moon. In the morning calm, hold my palm. UK best way to start your day. Chase those morning blues away. Wake up with a smile, stay happy for a while. Feel the light on your face, let joy take its place.
Take care, everyone, and I will see you most likely in Marshes and also on the flip side. I should be doing one tomorrow, no doubt. Take care, stay safe, stay cool. Bye for now, everyone. Thanks for stopping by.